Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. I'm CJ Baumgartner. Corey Tackman to the far side of the screen. In between us is optimistic Zeke. We've turned your tide around here. How you feeling, Zeke?
For now, Wild win last night. Wolves win last night. You got to embrace these moments while they last.
Exactly. We'll take it in stride. We'll
no
see if we can.
You're a miserable Minnesota sports fan. It's because you ride all the highs.
Dang right.
No, if Zeke was a surfer, he would never let a single wave go, ever. He'd be on every.
Hit them all. Take advantage of those fun moments while you can, because you know you're coming down off that wave very soon.
Always optimistic about our high school sports broadcast schedule. Corey, you have a boys basketball game and a little rematch from some Section 7AA playoffs from a year ago.
Yeah, sure. I've got the Staples-Motley Cardinals boys basketball team hosting the Pequot Lakes Patriots in what is a non-conference game here tonight. That hasn't been the case. I mean, I guess it's been the case for a few years now. Pequot Lakes moving over to the Granite Ridge Conference and moving east as far as conference play go, out of the moving out of the mid-state. But obviously the mid-state in the last year has dissolved, and Staples-Motley moving into the Heart of Lakes Conference. But yeah, these are two section opponents that are playing each other, both top four in Section 7AA. There's some pretty distinct tiers in 7AA right now, with ESCO the clear number one and Pequot Lakes the clear number two, before a pretty big rift when you move to that third and then fourth seed where Staples-Motley would be. But they go at it tonight, and the Patriots get to play in the Nest for the first time this evening, scheduled for a 7:15 pregame and a 7:30 tip. AM1430 and 98.5 FM, The Fan this evening.
The Fan. Also on 101.7 FM and AM920 KWAD. Old duel in wrestling between the Wolverines and the Barnesville Trojans. That game taking place in Wadena tonight. Kyle and Dan are on the call for that one. 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock match start on KWAD or online at WadenaRadio.com/KWAD is the regular season for wrestling, guys. Just a couple weeks left. So this is a late season one that we have for you, and for your listening pleasure there. And, of course, you can find the full broadcast schedule online at WadenaRadio.com. And that's pretty much it for what we have on tap for games tonight. Zeke, I know we talked about this yesterday, but first of all, Tori Orline, 4,000 points. What a milestone there.
I think one of only 3 people to do it in the history of Minnesota basketball, and she has a year left, and I think I saw the stat line. She's averaging 30 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 steals a game or something like that. Just, we're never going to see that again up in this neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm. Now, like we talked about yesterday, only one person ever before this year had reached 4,000 career points. And this year we are going to have 3 girls. Orline was the second one, but Madden Greenway not too far away. Addie Mack got it last month. Orline got it a couple nights ago. And then Madden Greenway, the next game she plays, she's like 3 points away. 3 girls crossed that threshold all in one season. It's just amazing. So looking at some other stuff we have on tap here, we're going to talk into state sports. I know Corey's got a theory he wants to put out into the wild. Zeke has a wild conspiracy theory, Minnesota Wild related, and we're going to have Zeke play the nickname game just a little bit later in the show. But before we do that, Corey, before we do any of that, we should probably give a big shout out to those who make the morning sports desk possible, and that's the good folks at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
It's Thursday today, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
It sure is. And on Thursdays at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena, it is wing night with boneless and traditional wings with tons of great sauces, serving up all your buffet favorites like the country's best chicken. There's pizza, there's sides, there's salads, there's desserts. Are wings your thing? Whose thing are they not? Wings are everybody's thing, and the Pizza Ranch offers up some delicious wings. So check them out tonight or every single night for wings and pizza and a delicious buffet, and have a little blast in the FunZone arcade as well. The Pizza Ranch and the morning sports desk goes together like buffalo sauce and wingies. Wingies.
I am making my wife take me to Pizza Ranch for lunch today. That's because
it's your birthday. Happy birthday, CJ.
Darn it.
That's why.
You did it. Wow. So exciting. Can you guys hear this?
Yeah. Hear what? No. I'm not hearing anything. I'm hearing a lot of static. Now I can't hear you anymore, so now we lost Corey.
Oh, shoot. You couldn't hear that?
No.
That's too bad.
Darn it.
That's too bad. I had a It's Your Birthday CJ song all queued up and ready to roll.
Just recreate it from memory.
It's your birthday today, CJ. And just repeated that for 90 seconds.
Was the goal to just do it for like a long enough amount of time where you're like, okay, like this is the bit is gone and now it's just kind of playing out like a Family Guy bit?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it.
All right, perfect.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Pizza Ranch. That was the point. We're going to Pizza Ranch, and I will make sure to stop by the FunZone arcade because when in Rome,
Try to win a mystery jersey.
That would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty darn sweet. The Skittles vending machine also would be.
Shout out Skittles vending. Are you do you go the rainbow? Do you just like the traditional cup of Skittles, or the like the tropical, or are you like a specific fill your cup with one specific color of Skittles?
Skittles, I mean, you can't go wrong with the classics, with the classic in the red bag, but the wild berry or that the wild berry was my other go-to, and then the tropical mix. Those are kind of like my holy trinity of Skittles kind of mix.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's the route. Zeke?
Like ranch, you go exotic with tropical Skittles, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Whichever one my kids get, because they, for some reason, I can only find like the super jumbo family size ones.
Yeah.
And they don't need all that, so I'll just eat the other half. Yeah. You guys had the freeze-dried Skittles before? They have them at Walmart, I think.
What? No. What's that?
What? Yeah, you got to.
They like freeze them and they like explode, and they get. I'll bring them in. Okay,
deal.
I'll track some down.
Great taste test Tuesday on a morning sports desk. How's that sound?
That's back. It's back and better than ever.
I hope you guys like cavities because you're going to get a whole pile of them from those suckers.
Love cavities.
My dentist is rubbing hands together. All right, Zeke, you have a wild conspiracy theory about the Minnesota Wild. Let's get to that first.
I do, and I would love to see this pan out because this would be the pinnacle of Marc-Andre Fleury craziness. So tonight, Minnesota Wild, after they beat Toronto last night, first game without Kirill Kaprizov in quite a while, lower body injury. They're not saying what it is. Could be ruptured testicle. We'll never know. He has surgery, out at least 4 weeks. The Wild beat Toronto last night. Toronto's a good hockey team. Kuzhedinov scores. Foligno scores, and the captain, Jared Spurgeon, all score last night. Sweet. Tonight, going from Toronto to Montreal, Marc-Andre Fleury's hometown. There's going to be tears. There's going to be tributes. There's going to be all this stuff going on tonight. Last game ever in his hometown. Or is that what Marc-Andre Fleury wants us to believe? Here's my crazy conspiracy theory. Marc-Andre Fleury is a beloved hockey player, but he's also a war criminal. This guy is known for his elaborate pranks. He'll hide inside gym bags. Yes. He steals tires from your car. He tapes your equipment together and freezes it. He's a master at the prank. He's 41 years old, and he's going through all this tribute stuff. Played in Pittsburgh the last time. He won a couple cups there. Was honored in Vegas a couple weeks ago. Took Vegas to a Stanley Cup after they took with the expansion draft. Tonight, tears everywhere. His last game in Montreal. Wouldn't it be awesome if Marc-Andre Fleury came back for one more year after all of this tribute stuff goes on? I think it would just be the top of the mountain if he goes through it all. He's like, just kidding. I'm coming back for one more year. I think that would be peak Flower.
So this was all just an elaborate prank.
All just an elaborate prank on the entire hockey world. And he'll come back for one more year.
He takes all of his send-offs from every team. He takes his broken bat rocking chair, sets it up on his front porch for all eternity, but not until one more year. Thanks for all the great stuff. It's nice to know how much you're loved. Yep. Everyone always talks about wouldn't you like to know what people say about you at your funeral? He has just set up his own funeral so he could witness it himself and then have one more year before going away. I love this. I love it.
I don't be surprised if that happens. If he signs a 1-year deal with Pittsburgh or Montreal or something next year and goes out with his guys, I would love it so much.
That would be interesting. So do you think the Wild would be on that list of teams, or do you think Guerin would get a big padlock to put in front of the doors?
I think he would probably end up leaving. It's going to be Jesper Wallsted's teams next year. I mean, you've got Wallsted coming up. You've still got Gusbus under contract, I think.
Isn't Guerin the kind of guy to take that really personally too? We did all this for you. It was your last year. He'd be old school pissed about this.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah.
That'd be it's part of the prank. It's part of the prank. And also, by the way, he takes all the stuff he got over the course of the year and then he just sells them on Facebook Marketplace for dirt cheap value.
Oh.
He's got this for free. Need to get rid of it.
I've got another one coming.
Gives them away for Christmas as a white out gift.
He goes back to other teams. So he gets you have the one that Seattle gave you, and then you give it to Vancouver and vice versa. Yeah. When you find all the rivals and you just start giving them, the Wild are playing Dallas and it's here, the Wild gave this to me as a retirement gift. Dallas, I want you to have this, just to spark some extra flares. That'd be kind of fun.
Leaves it all in Sidney Crosby's locker or something. There was a break-in at a player's house. I forget who it was. It was maybe Evansville Malkin got his house broken into. Someone stole his 3 Stanley Cup rings. And then all of a sudden they found him in the house. The criminal felt bad. And the top comment on the Twitter news story was Marc-Andre Fleury's gone too far this time or something like that. Because that's what he does. It's what he does. And I love it so much. He makes hockey fun. Wild tonight, 6:00 in Montreal.
What's your
next? It's gonna be a good one. No Kaprizov again, but Wilds are getting healthy. Eric Sinek back. It was his birthday yesterday. Had an assist in that game. So Wild they'll right the ship and they'll figure out how to do things without Kirill Kaprizov and get him back right before the playoffs.
Second night of a back-to-back on the road. Zeke is rolling with the Wild. Speaking of a team that's on the second night of a back-to-back tonight, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to Utah. One of my favorite jokes in the movie Basketball is that the Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music. And that's exactly where the Timberwolves are tonight to take on
you'll get it.
Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz. Walker Kessler. Remember when Walker Kessler was a thing? Remember when everybody thought the Wolves were just getting fleeced because they had Walker Kessler?
Yeah. He had a great start to his rookie year.
Isn't his wife Miss America now or something like that?
She was Miss America. She was Miss Alabama, and then he was him and his teammates were watching her get crowned Miss America.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy's got to spend his time in Utah. That's where the Wolves are tonight. That should be a win. But last night they got a pretty big win. And before we talk about that, Corey, there's a Minnesota Timberwolves thing I want to put up.
I need you to recap the win.
Okay, and we'll go.
Last night leads into this Timberwolves parallel that has been presented to college roommates that I want to give. So why don't you just really quickly, CJ, recap the win last night, some of the fireworks in that one, and then that will transition into this.
Timberwolves didn't play necessarily a great first half, kept it within a few points on the road against Phoenix. They shot the lights out in the first half, did the Suns, and then in the second half, the Wolves defense clamped down. Anthony Edwards had a good game. Naw had a season high 23 points today. He made 6 threes from the field or something insane like that. He was having a good game. You had a whole 12 seconds from Josh Minot, so that was cool. Dillingham had some quality minutes. Jalen Clark played really well, guarding guys like Booker and stuff like that. Of course, Devin Booker drawing his flops, doing his other stuff. Him and Jaden going back and forth. Jaden ended up getting ejected at the end of the game, but it didn't really matter because things were the Wolves were already in control. The real ejection that was fun was Minnesota Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch. Now, the Wolves were down 2 points midway through the third quarter, and they had not led in the ballgame, or at least not led till like very early in the first quarter. And Finch was talking to the officials on an inbound. Beal was right next to Finch, and all of a sudden Finch just gets tossed. And everybody's kind of wondering why. I on social media was like, do we have any we have no idea why he got tossed. But apparently it looks like Finch mumbled something, and we couldn't tell if it was Beal. Somebody's like, was somebody 3 rows up yelling something, and they thought it was Finch? Well, turns out, according to Chris Hine of the Minnesota Star-Tribune, in his post-game wrap-up article, he said that an unnamed source close to the team said that Finch allegedly said the word bozo to the ref. It looked like the conversation was wrapped up. Like you could see, he gestures to Beal because the ref looks back at him. He's like, "Oh, I was talking to Beal," and then turns around. You could see him move his mouth a little bit. Turns out, as he turned around, he just went, "Yeah, I was talking to Beal, bozo." And then that official just threw him out like it's Joe West. And then Finch got his money's worth and all that. Wolves win, impressive win. They are 5 games above 500 for the first time this year. They can make it 6 with a back-to-back win over Utah tonight. Corey, the floor is yours.
I have one thing. Is bozo the one non-curse word that is an automatic ejection?
Clown, maybe?
And baseball, right? If you call the officials in either of those sports bozo, clown, those are the least offensive automatic ejection words, aren't there?
I mean, they have to be. I remember being told of a certain coach in high school basketball that called a ref a clown and got a technical instantly. So it wasn't an ejection, but those are words where it's like you say that and it has you could swear and the official let it in one ear out the other, but you say clown or bozo, whatever, any kind of word adjacent to that, and it's an automatic technical possible ejection. It's really, really funny. Bozos,
they don't like it. Yeah, they don't like it.
Apparently they don't like being called bozos, especially I think it's the under the breath part. It's not like, come on, you bozo, what are you doing? It's that you try and sneak it in. It's the little oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
Just so you know, you're out of here. It's the bozo.
All right, you ready for this? This is the hot take from today amongst my college roommates. All right, I want to properly credit Dave for coming up with this, and I want to tell you, I think I love it. I think I'm speaking of surfing and riding every wave. I am now riding this wave. There are a lot of parallels between this season's Minnesota Timberwolves and your 2004 world champion Boston Red Sox, which means, obviously, hot take, the Timberwolves are your 2025 NBA champions.
I'm skeptical that you can, yet intrigued that you may keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed franchise, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the most obvious parallel. Okay. 2003 Boston Red Sox lose in the ALCS. They're bad, but have sky-high expectations for the next year. They make moves to position themselves for a championship. They come out of the gate completely flat, hover around 500 most of the year. Nomar Garciaparra, the cat of Boston, hadn't played all year due to injury and gets traded. Manny asks for a trade. Looks like a bust season. How are you going to win the World Series when you're doing so much worse than last year? The team's not gelling, and now without Nomar? Francona manages the personalities. They light a fire when things start looking like they're going off the rails, a la Finchy and his post-Hawks press conference and getting ejected. The team starts winning. The clubhouse morale improves. They're playing loosey-goosey. Yet a couple of specialists mid-season, that is TBD, by the way, they start calling themselves a bunch of idiots. They make the playoffs via the wild card. David Ortiz emerges as one of the greatest clutch performers of all time, and maybe the greatest comeback in sports history. They go on to sweep the Cardinals to win the World Series. Grown men who were convinced they would never see their team win openly weep. The end. How good is that? Are you not completely on board with this?
I'm kind of all in.
It's really good, right?
I'm all in for the work. The presentation and stuff it's just the train of logic has been thrown out there and it's pretty easy to follow. I don't know what else to say.
There's some things that have absolutely happened. There's still 2 or 3 things that need to happen, but it's set. Finchy goes crazy. they win. We talked about it yesterday, CJ. They have to win tonight in Utah. Like, tonight's the night where they prove if they take things seriously or not, in my opinion. But like, imagine this coming together. Imagine they trade Randall, who's come up in trade rumors, and get some pieces together. And now it's not a question of whose team is it. Edwards just has to do it. He has to take that step, a step he's taken every single year, by the way, in his career so far. Is this it? Do we feel like, I mean, things got to go their way? Can it go their way?
Why not us? Why not now?
I feel like if they do, Ant is going to have to be Pedro. He's going to have to be Kurt Schilling with the bloody sock. He's going to have to be David Ortiz, or else Rudy's going to step up. I mean, he almost got hit by the Jumbotron. Maybe that was his bloody sock moment, was when that horn fell off the Jumbotron the other night and it almost took out Rudy Gobert. In order for this to happen, they were a bunch of idiots. There were guys, Mark Bellhorn, Doug Mirabelli, Kevin Youkilis, Kevin Millar. We know what Ant is, but we need Dave Roberts to steal second base in Game 7. We need for somebody else to step up. Maybe it's Jaden who's had a couple of good games. Maybe Joe Ingles comes back and starts hooping. Who knows? But in order, the Red Sox don't win that World Series without a lot of guys not named Pedro, Kurt, or Big Papi or Manny stepping up in big spots, and that's what the Wolves need to happen the rest of the way here.
But they haven't yet, right? They pretty much
yet. We're not even to the All-Star break yet. Yep.
So if it works out that they all end up getting hot at the same time, you know, your Naz Reid turns into Jonathan Papelbon and Nikhil Alexander Walker steals second base to keep the series alive.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I just really like the theory, and I appreciated there are some similarities there.
Yeah,
there are.
Mike Conley could be Tim Wakefield, come in after the disappointing start to the season, after his heart was broken last year, finally get to that World Series.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
I'm all in. I mean, say no more. Like, we are, Francona, an old school guy, wants to kind of play it the old fashioned way, play good defense, do all the fundamentals right. Finch, a coach that's a little crotchety's not the right word, but he's not afraid to kind of get after you and light you up. I mean, plays defense. Hey, this could work. This working theory, this could work.
I cannot wait to monitor this so that way I can either praise my buddy Dave or make fun of him for the rest of his life.
We have this conversation bookmarked.
Yeah. Speaking of the 04 Red Sox, did you guys hear that Terry Francona is the manager of the Reds now?
What?
Yeah, that happened out of nowhere.
I just learned that like the other day. Yeah, he's back.
He came out of retirement on like just a random night. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm managing the Reds this year.
He was a Pete Carroll before Pete Carroll was Pete Carroll.
Uh-huh. It was I'm retiring. Psych, never mind. Cleveland wanted me out, and I was ready to oblige.
You go to the Reds. That's your next reclamation project.
Uh-huh. I mean, they're gonna play good defense and fundamentals in a ballpark where Ellie De La Cruz can just hit a weak pop up, and it's 4 rows up in the bleachers.
He knows that Cincinnati's in the National League, which is the same league as the Dodgers, right? So he's gonna. Okay.
Don't worry, they're getting the power of friendship ready, just like their 2016 run.
Okay.
That worked out well for him, right?
I wouldn't touch a National League job with a 20-foot pole right now.
Now you just wait till the Dodgers starting pitchers get hurt, like they do every playoffs run. They just had a good enough offense where it didn't even matter.
They're going to score 9 runs.
Josh Allen.
Because I mean, that happened to the Dodgers this year. A lot of their starting pitchers, Glasnow, I have Kershaw, just continuously hurt at this point in his career. Like, I keep forgetting that he's still an active player. They had a few of their big name guys hurt, but it didn't matter because Ohtani was swinging, Freddie Freeman was swinging, Mookie Betts. They have 3 MVPs on that lineup.
And 10 All-Stars in their bullpen now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Look, this is a broader conversation for a different episode. It's a two-pronged issue. One, the Dodgers are recklessly spending like Steinbrenner in the 90s. Like, they are just throwing around money like they don't care. And second of all, no other team is willing to spend. So if you're a free agent, the Dodgers just won a World Series. They're looking awesome, and they're the only one offering you, in your eyes, a market deal. Yeah, all right, cool. We're on board. It's, when you have all these we have the Cubs crying poor. It's like, okay, man, like, the Twins ownership crying poor. That's nothing new. You have like the Cubs ownership crying poor. You're building a whole district down in Wrigleyville. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean crying poor? You don't have any money? No, you don't.
Also, they're going to win. Like, it seems like players take money over anything else. But if there is a differentiator, if the money's the same, they're going to give themselves the best opportunity to win.
Right. Especially in a short-term contract, because you win and then you hit free agency again and get a bigger contract.
So what happens, though, when the most money is provided by the team with the best chance to win? It's the easiest decision ever.
Mm-hmm. And then
I'd like to win.
Wouldn't it be nice? Don't worry. Justin Ishbia will save us.
Yeah, I'm just saying I've spent more money on cheeseburgers this month than the Twins have on free agents, and I don't eat out a lot anymore. So,
hey, Zeke, true or false? Which team has signed more major league free agents? The Pittsburgh Pirates or the Minnesota Twins?
That would be the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes, they just signed Clint Frazier. The Tampa Bay Rays or the Minnesota Twins?
Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, they signed Yusung Kim from the Padres to like a 2-year kind of prove-it deal.
You know how I know that? Because this is how many free agents the Twins have signed. Zero
major league free agents. They've signed a lot of minor league. They got like 5.
We got that backup catcher. Yeah.
We got 4 backup catchers, 3 backup first basemen, 3 reclamation project relievers. I am convinced the trade is coming. The Jorge Polanco trade happened like around this time last year, but we're getting into the range where like if another week passes, it's like, okay, now they might just legitimately be running this thing back.
You know what?
I say all this to know that a major trade will happen minutes after we finish recording.
A morning sports desk, there's always next year branded t-shirts are really, we really got to do that.
The presses will be hot.
Fly off the shelves. Yeah. Another late one, the Carlos Correa signing that came on like March 23rd or whatever. Just you wake up and okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Perfect. The Pablo Lopez trade happened about this time.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's still stuff in the air. And the thing about the Twins under Falvey is they always make a move and trade for somebody where it's like, okay, the Twins maybe could look at this guy or this guy, and then they make a trade and like, I've never heard of that guy in my life.
Yep.
And he's either the biggest bust you've ever seen, or it's like Pablo Lopez, where you're like, okay, all right, that works.
Who's the Mariners pitcher we got in the Polanco deal that never pitched for us?
Anthony DeScalfani.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't worry, we got one prospect in the deal, and who has fallen out of the top 100, and we also have Justin Topa, who pitched a solid 3 games last year.
Justin Topa.
When it was in late September, when it was already too late.
It was when they were bailing water on the
came in with a bucket of water when the fire was already in smolders, and he just...
At least the franchise solved the viewing problem for being able to see the Twins by getting rid of one issue and then countering with the exact same option via a different program the next year. That's good. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Good job, guys.
62 cents per game, or you can listen for free on the radio.
Hey, KWAD, Twins affiliate, all 66 years but one.
Baseball is a game that was made to be watched on the radio, they say.
On good old AM radio. So there you go. By the way, 4 Twins prospects in the top 100. You have Walker Jenkins, who, with the top 2 guys on the prospect list, I think Jackson Holliday is still a prospect, and there's one more. There's a chance.
Jenkins. An all-time internet meme.
There's a good chance by the 4th of July that Walker Jenkins is the top prospect in all of baseball, which is just fun. Yep. So that's at least good.
There's always next year starts today. Is that what you're telling me?
There's a good chance he's in St. Paul by the end of the year, but that's maybe about it. Luke Keyshaw is a guy that the Twins drafted a couple of years ago out of Florida State, who's a
backer from Carolina.
They have he's a second base prospect. No, not Luke Kuechly.
There we go.
Yeah. I had to do some math quick. Luke Keyshaw, but of course he's a second baseman, and the Twins have a ton of middle infield prospects. So between that,
trade him for Dylan Cease. Put him in the Cease deal.
Between Brooks Lee, Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis, Ed Julian, Luke Keyshaw, and there's a couple other guys in there. You know, I think the Twins maybe will have by the time all those guys get hurt, I can't wait to see who the Twins find.
Get an owner so something can happen, for crying out loud. What is going on?
You got 2 more months. They won't pick an owner for another 2 months.
This season's a wash.
It is kind of a wash, isn't it? That being said, the Twins still have the highest payroll of any team in the American League Central.
Cool.
With just Carlos Correa.
Pretty much Carlos Correa. And Pablo Lopez's extension, I think, kicks in this year.
I think so, yeah.
So
sounds about right.
That's about it. So good job, guys.
Thanks.
Good job. It could be worse. We could always be the White Sox.
But it's not that much worse. We're so much closer to that than we are the Dodgers.
Well, yeah, but the Dodgers are so far away.
But is Chicago close? I'm saying, who's after the Dodgers? Who's number 2? We're so far away from that. If this is a spectrum, we're closer to the White Sox than you are the top.
I don't know if I go that far.
They don't even have an owner.
Yeah, but the team is still okay enough to compete in this division.
Who cares? 82 wins, CJ.
Sharing a chance.
No, there is no chance with 82 wins. You have no chance. And
they almost did last year. They needed like 84.
The Dodgers moved the bar, which means you have to move the bar. You have to.
They are. They're adjusting it either way, down. They're lowering the bar.
Who's to say?
I'm not watching this year.
Never said which way the bar had to move. Just had to move it.
I can't wait until the Polads spite the Ishbias and then sell it to somebody else who's going to cut payroll immediately.
Or get some kind of A-Rod, Mark Laurie
situation,
Taylor drama going on.
Yeah, or a guy who wants to move the team to Nashville. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's
move on for all I care at this point.
Let's wrap up this show by that'd be a great chapter for your next book.
Mm-hmm.
The move to Nashville.
Yeah.
Striking a chord.
That actually would require an addendum.
It would.
Well, sorry guys, this thing just got published. It's been out for a couple years, and we already got a release volume.
We got to redo it here.
Sad.
All right, Zeke, let's wrap this thing up. We played the nickname game with Corey yesterday, and what we do is we go to Basketball Reference. They have nicknames for NBA players, and some of them are like pretty obvious, and some of them are what the guy was called once by a junior high friend, and it just is there. So we are going to have you play. We have 3. These are current players in the NBA, and they have Timberwolves connections based off of their opponents, either upcoming or in the last couple games. So the last couple games on the schedule and the next kind of couple upcoming, just to make it a little easier here.
Okay.
As we go, we got 3 names. Let's start with nickname or name number 1's nickname. The Sheriff.
This is a current player.
Current player.
The
Sheriff.
Zeke, you can ask Corey for help.
Well, I'm guessing by the Zeke, you don't have to ask me for help. I'm helping.
Okay. It's probably going to be a guy in Texas, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. Probably a player that's been there for a while, so he can get that nickname established. It's not Kyrie, is it?
Is Kyrie the guess?
Kyrie Irving's my guess for the Sheriff.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Yeah, that's a good guess. That is a good guess. I like your logic, but
so here's what I'm thinking, Zeke. I'm thinking Sheriff to me immediately implies defense, like somebody who's just not and like just or like a hard-nosed guy, a la like a Draymond Green or a Dylan Brooks or somebody like
Dylan Brooks.
Maybe someone who like someone who's blocking shots and turning shots away. I mean, I don't know who that player is off the top of my head.
All right, here's the nickname number 2.
Okay.
Skywalker.
So he jumps high or is tall or is both.
Oh, I feel like I saw this one not too long ago, and I was like, "That's stupid."
I'm going to tell you the answer if you don't get it, and you're not going to. You're going to.
Why would I?
Is it Skywalker Kessler?
That is correct. Walker Kessler.
The logic was sound.
Yep.
I don't know what the Sheriff has to imply other than the fact that he's just tall. He went to college at UNC.
No, it's Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I was going to say, he went to high school in Georgia, so there's not really a Texas connection other than, Walker, Texas Ranger. It's like Ricky Bobby. My kids, Walker, Texas Ranger. Okay, so Walker Kessler was the first one. All right, here's the second one. Ty.
Just Ty?
Can I get a spelling?
That'll give it away.
Okay.
How about the name we were texting about the other night? Halliburton.
Yeah, that was my first thought too. Tyrese.
If I say the other one, it's just going to completely give it away.
So there's only 2 nicknames?
Yep.
How many other? Tyler Hansborough. Does he still play? Tyrese Maxey.
Don't think too hard about this.
What do you mean? I feel like I'm underthinking it.
Tyronn Lue. His nickname was Ty, wasn't it? Oh, no.
Well, he's a current coach, but not a current player.
Oh, okay, I see.
Ty. Who is Ty?
Ricori standout Grant Tyluki. No.
The Minnesota gets you warmer.
Minnesota.
Someone plays for Minnesota named Ty?
There's just a Minnesota connection.
Minnesota connection. Cam Christie. No. Who's the other former golfer that plays for the Clippers?
Amir Coffey.
Amir Coffey.
How about this? It's spelled T-Y.
T-Y.
That doesn't help. That's what I assumed it was.
Maybe it was T-Y, T-I-E.
Ty. Oh, it's Tyus. It's Tyus Jones.
The other nickname was Tyus Stones.
Tyus Stones is awesome.
I love that.
I don't know why people don't call him that more.
That's really good.
Plays for Phoenix. He didn't quite have a great game last night, but he was on their team.
Okay, that was awesome. I like Tyus Stones a lot.
Tyus Stones is a good one. All right, last one. Here we go.
Bring it. I'm gonna get one of these.
The microwave.
I mean, that it's instant offense, right? He heats up immediately. Who heats up immediately? This might be a Kyrie. Zeke.
The other one is JP3.
I was gonna guess Kyle Anderson. If you want fast offense, that's the guy. KP.
It is
JP.
JP3.
Oh, JP3.
I mean, this is going to wreck me because now I'm just thinking about
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, because he has 3 fingers on one hand.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
we're going to give it away.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who.
I don't.
Who is it?
He used to play for Golden State.
And that is?
He now is teammates with a former Laker. They both went West Coast to East Coast.
What would his name be?
I'm trying to give Zeke a chance here. He sucks.
Let's just say.
Okay, I was thinking he played for Washington, so it's not.
No, he does.
He does?
He was a team punching bag when he was in Golden State.
Yeah. What's his name? He's the bozo.
He basically won him a title.
His nickname is otherwise known as Swaggy Pool or Pool Party.
Jordan Poole. That's who it is. Yay. I was like, I knew who it was. I just
Pool Party
deleted his name from my brain.
Pool Party's great.
Yeah.
Pool Party. Somewhere our sales guy Jared, who's a Michigan fan, is just shaking his head.
So these are all great, and I love punny names. But one of these times we got to have like Sheriff. Sheriff is awesome. That's a perfect nickname because it doesn't. Yeah. It's not punny, but you got to think about it just a little. One of these times we're gonna have they're just gonna call somebody like I don't know, Wisconsin Chubbs or something. Why? Why is he? It's Frank Kaminsky. That doesn't make any sense.
What I call somebody the microwave because of the instant offense. Call somebody hot pocket because their shooting is cold in the first quarter, heats up in the second quarter, and goes cold by the fourth quarter.
Right. Oh, I love it.
That'd be a nickname. That'd be something after for another episode. Would be who would be the NBA's hot pocket, but
it's probably Jordan Poole.
Probably is. That implies that he gets hot at any stretch.
Probably Jordan Poole.
Two dudes that are hooping for somebody that nobody cares. You get to make money. There's no pressure. You still get all the fun that comes with being an NBA player, and you get 2 months of the season off because you never play the postseason.
Who's that doofus in Denver? Porter.
Michael Porter Jr., Mizzou alum, baby.
Porter would be a good hot pocket candidate.
Jamal Murray.
I hate Jamal Murray. He doesn't get
he made that shot at the end of the half or the quarter or something like that, and he had he mean mugged the bench, and Kevin Harlan's there snarling right next to him.
He gets the nickname Ice Pack.
That's true. That's true. By the way, there were Denver reporters who chided Wolves fans for getting mad about the heat pack, but then they spent 3 days crying about Nickeil Alexander-Walker poking that ball from behind on Murray, that it was not a clean block.
Must be nice to be a perennial championship contender and winner and have the MVP of the league.
Must be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Although they lost to the Bulls the other night, so they're not invincible. They did lose to the Wolves. They did get pounded by the Wolves after all.
Yeah, they did.
We are the kryptonite for the third best team in the West.
Good. Here.
Good. I hate them.
Get them out of here. Get them out. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Thanks for hopping on today, Zeke. This is the Morning Sports Desk with CJ and Corey, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. We'll see you next time.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.